Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We hope to finish the introduction of Byam Darkecha. We are now on page Ches. Page Ches, I believe. Amitas Avodah.
I think to move your screen a little bit, the camera, so you can see yourself.
Oh, thank you. How's that? Now you could see me really well. Okay, we're on page Ches, and we're coming near to the conclusion. We've been talking about this idea of pleasure, this idea of false pleasures, and how the Yetzer Hara, or the Sitra Achar, shows you another pleasure that's not necessarily connected to Hashem. And this is what it's all about. So, where are we? Again, page Ches. Okay. So now, the headline is Hatanug hu nekudas hanisayim b'emuna. Oh no, we did that part. We're on Vav. I'm sorry. We're on Vav. Still on this page, Ches, but now section Vav. Correct. Just want to make sure I got everything in order. Yeah. So now, Amitas Avodah. So what's the true service that we have to have? Is Ha'akara b'Hashem Yisparach, is recognizing Hashem. Hinei, Ha'emuna b'yichad Hashem eina inyan prati. The concept of believing in the unity of Hashem is not a detail of Judaism. It's not like, okay, I go to Shul, I learn Torah, I'm a Jew, and it's a lot of this part of the 613 details, and one of them is to believe in the unity of God. It's not a detail. Elohi merkaz pnimius kol avoda. It is the focal, central, inner central point of the entire service. V'tachlis kol hachaim. It's the goal of all life. V'pnimius v'tachlis kol haTorah mitzvahs. And that's the inner aspect and the goal of all of Torah and mitzvahs. The reason we learn Torah, the reason we do mitzvahs is based on the belief of this unity principle. And therefore, kikulam nitnu lanu, why were we given Torah mitzvahs? Only for the purpose, kidei shenasig al yodam od va'od, so we can apprehend through them more and more es havana hamuka, the deeper understanding, ves hargosha behira, and a clearer feeling of what? B'mitzias Hashem yisbarach u'biyichudo, to understand deeper the reality of Hashem and that unity, which means ein od melvado. As it says in the pasuk, kol mitzvosecha emuna. All of the mitzvahs are all about emuna. So the footnotes back all this up. In footnote Yud, he brings down the Ramban at the end of Parshas Bo, the famous Ramban. And the Ramban says, quote, Zohi kavanas kol mitzvahs kulam. The intent of all the mitzvahs, to believe in our God, and to give him thanks. There's no other reason why God created man. There's no other reason, but rather to what? To thank Hashem. A person should know, and give thanks to the God who created them. That's what it's all about. Certainly the Chovas Halvavos writes, Rova inyan amechuvan b'mitzvahs shebagufim uvevarim. The major concept that is intended with the mitzvahs that are done with your body and your limbs is what? It's not for the body and the limbs. It is to test, to arouse the mitzvahs that are in the heart. Shem shoyresh haTorah, the root of the Torah. That's the whole reason for the Sefer Chovas Halvavos, duties of the heart. So that's the main thing of Yiddishkeit. What's in your heart? Not only what's in your heart, you have to do, obviously, but with the heart that's behind the doing. And that's the closeness. That's the feeling of the unity. And now he says, this is the rule of Torah, liros es mitzius Hashem yisparach, to see the reality of Hashem, b'chol davar ba'olam, in everything in the world, v'lich yosito, and to live with that, and to live with Hashem. As the pasuk says, b'chol deracha da'ehu, in all your ways you shall know him, as there's a whole siman in Shulchan Aruch, siman Reish Lamed Aleph, that discusses your daily activities. how they're patterned in feeling that connection to Hashem. And that's what Chavakuk put the whole Torah on one point. V'tzadik be'emunaso yichya. A tzaddik lives with his emunah. It doesn't just mean the emunah that sustains trust in Hashem, but the emunah that Hashem is the only reality. And everything of Torah and mitzvahs is to connect to that reality. That's what it's all about. And doing the mitzvahs alone, without that intention to get you to that reality, then you've missed the goal. And then the next footnote says, V'chol mitzvah, in every mitzvah, v'chol moed, in every holiday, miskala la'adam or Hashem isparach. The light of Hashem is revealed to man. And that's what is following up beautifully on last night's Vasemis class, which some felt was a little bit challenging. And Baruch Hashem, we have to learn some challenging things. This is much easier what we're learning now. But that all of them, they reveal a light. And it strengthens in the person's heart as he does the mitzvah and goes through the holiday, that recognition and feeling of the unity of Hashem and clinging to it. However, so why do we need so many? But rather each individual holiday, each individual mitzvah, and each individual part of Torah, Yeshlo Gavan Acher, has a different color, a different flavor, Megillah said, in revealing that. And no holiday is similar to the other one. It's not just, in the non-Jewish world, in Lahavdil, the second world, a vacation is vacation. A day off is a day off. In Yiddishkeit, there's no such thing as holiday vacations. It's Avodah. So the Avodah of Pesach is meant to give you a certain flavor of that feeling of connection to Hashem. The feeling of connection because you have freedom. Freedom from the Yetzer Hara allows you to connect to Hashem. While Shavuos is more of the connection to Torah, to Hashem. And Sukkot is to see that Hashem have simcha towards Hashem. It's all different flavors. That's all taking you to that place. And everybody can, you have to have a well-balanced, diversified portfolio of Amunah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu that fits in every section. Because even though the goal is the same, to bring a person to Hashem, and to the Amunah in it, but each one activates a different part of your soul. And each one teaches us its unique point that makes the totality of that, as we'll be explaining further on. Okay, moving on to page Tes. Okay, so after saying this is the main part of our Avodah, and all of our lives, we have to grow and grow in this matter. And to merit to go deeper and deeper. It's not a question of, okay, I understand the concept. I believe in that concept. But there's layers to this concept. It manifests in deeper and deeper ways. Bekinyan amiti, till you get a true acquisition ad omek hanefesh, till the depths of one's soul. And a person who merits a true acquisition of Amunah, and the person has a very clear recognition and a clear feeling of the reality of Hashem's unity. If you get that, that's how you acquire complete closeness to Hashem. They're one and the same. So this word Amunah, has many layers, and we're getting to the deepest layers of Amunah. That it's all HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the deeper you understand that, then the closer you get to Hashem. Ki kol Yehudi, every Jew, kafi kinyano ba'akara b'yichud Hashem, based on how much he acquires in recognizing the unity of Hashem, to that degree, he'll merit to connect Hashem. Truly to the depths of his soul. And then he'll merit to be, as we call the patriarchs, Merkava l'Shechina. He'll be a chariot of the Shechina. What's a chariot do? It moves something from one place to the other. In your daily lives, we're moving around. We go from place to place. we are supposed to be carrying the Shekhinah with us, and people should see the Shekhinah radiating from us. Sezet tachlis hakol. That's the goal of everything. Lios lo dira b'tachton. Hashem wants to have a domicile down here. V'zeh ikar hachayim. That's the main thing about life. V'tachlis kol avodah. That's the goal of all our service, Hashem. Lahakir ba'amitas v'yichad Hashem. To recognize the truth of the unit of Hashem, and we talk that, and through that, to connect to Him, and to delight in that connection. To the point where you feel you have nothing in this world except one thing and only one thing, Hashem, because Hashem is the whole thing. That's all you want in life. Now, it doesn't mean you don't get everything else in life, but all that is hugs and kisses from Hashem. It looks like it's a nice car. It looks like it's a nice meal, but all it is hugs and kisses from Hashem. Let's look at the footnote below, where he says a very important point, which we've seen before in the Nesiva Shalom. Ubedavar say, and this ability to grow in your Amunah, nimderes ma'asodam, that measures the virtue of a person. In other words, just like you want to know how much is a stock worth, you want to know what your stock value is in spirituality? It depends on how much and how deep your Amunah is. As the Vilna Gaon writes on the words of the Ramah that say in the beginning of the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah says, Shivisi Hashem l'negdi tamid. I place Hashem before me constantly. Says the Zeh Klal Gadol. The Ramah says this is a big rule, b'Torah, in Torah, ubamalas tzadikim, and the virtues of the tzadikim, shahochim lifnei Elokim, they go before Hashem. That's what the Ramah starts. And the Vilna Gaon adds, now from the Ramah it appears, we say this is a big virtue, it's a big rule in the virtues of tzadikim. A big rule, which might imply there might be some other rules. So the Gaon writes, no, v'zeh kol malas tzadikim. That's the only virtue of tzadikim. The only real virtue of a human being is to place Hashem before him all the time. It's not a big virtue. It's the only virtue, because everything comes out of that. To the degree that you sense HaKadosh Baruch Hu's reality in every single thing. And you look at the world, as we've said, again, from the teachings, with equanimity. Everything is the same because it's all from Hashem. That is what makes you be a bigger tzaddik. As Lutzado writes, what is the main cause for a tzaddik to be a tzaddik? They're searching every moment for the Shekhinah. Lios merkava l'Shekhinah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To be a merkava for that Shekhinah. And that's again what we said last night with Hanukkah. That idea of the search. The Kohanim were searching for the oil. That's the same thing. That oil, we're searching for that Shekhinah that's within us or everywhere else in the world. You look at everything in the world and it says, where's the Shekhinah here? Where's the Shekhinah there? That's the way you look at life. As David HaMelech said, Ad emtza makom lahavaya mishkanos labir, until I find a place for Hashem, which is a sanctuary for the mighty one of Yaakov. V'chol Yehudi, and every Jew, each and every one of us can merit to be a chariot of the Shekhinah. Dahainu, which means to live with the reality of Hashem in our world. That is the definition of the Shekhinah. It's feeling that reality. And not that Hashem's over there. No, but rather, as the pasuk says, Elo ani Hashem shochein b'toch b'nei Yisrael. I dwell amongst the Jewish people, b'chol echad me'tonu, each and every one of us. This is not a job just for the tzaddikim. It's a job for each and every one of us to be a merkava. Some are a big chariot, some's a small chariot. You don't have to be a Torah scholar to be a chariot of Hashem. You just have to be somebody who sees the godliness in everything in the world. And that takes time. You have to focus on that. And how do you take every single activity and make it for, you always ask yourself, how do I bring God to be more relevant in this world, to be more manifest? If that's your motto, then you look at everything in a different way. And the more you do it, and the more you see it, the more you feel it, the more you behave it, that's called the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is not, when we say the Shekhinah is the manifestation of God in this world, well, where is it manifest? In us. When we behave like God. So it's manifest. That's the Shekhinah. And as we said before, the Shekhinah is in the Golus means when we're behaving in a way we shouldn't behave. That's the Shekhinah in the Golus. Okay, so now he comes to his conclusion, which will be setting us up. We got to hope we have to daven, guys. We're having a little trouble getting the order of the books. And after this, if I don't get a sefer, I can't go ahead. I mean, there should be coming any day. They may even be in Toronto. I mean, it was ordered weeks ago, but the Sitra Achar doesn't want us to learn these for him. Either way, but let's just come to the conclusion. Omar Ima Sefer. So now he's going to talk about what's the purpose of the Sefer now. Certainly every Jew wants to reach this. I guess only if you're in this class. I mean, maybe in their depths they want to, but not everybody is really that excited about this, but this was well. So now that, hopefully we're on side. Rakashe, but the question is, Maya derech l'zakasa, what's the way to merit this? How do we get here? Sounds good. How do I get this? Ki afilu shebavare kol Yehudi, because even if every Jew certainly zocha lahargish b'meshech chayv, because every Jew certainly has merited to feel sometime in his life as hatanik b'avodas Hashem yisparach, to feel that delight with Hashem. And we've all felt from time to time that feeling of that connection, the inner connection to Hashem. But there may be many precious Jews that only feel it at very distant times. We felt it maybe at a Ne'ilah, maybe at a Kol Nidre, maybe at a special occasion. Maybe when you have to see Mashas sporadically, but never, we don't not merit to feel it all the time. And this is the ultimate request of one's existence. We want to merit to live emunah, and to merit to connect and to cleave to the delight and to delight with Hashem on a regular basis. So these are all the following questions that we're all asking. How do we come to feel Hashem? And to live in his reality each and every moment. How do we do that? How do we merit when we're learning and davening? That it should be pleasurable. And with an inner connection, and it's alive with Hashem, to feel that as we're learning Torah right now, we're learning Hashem's holy Torah with Hashem, as Rav Chaim Voloshin in the fourth gate of the Nefesh Chaim talks extensively about how when you're learning Torah, it's as if Hashem's at the table with you learning, and he's your chavrusa. Believe me, if you felt Hashem was your chavrusa, you'd be alive when you'd be learning, and when you're davening. It's all with Hashem. How do we merit that? And let's say someone has merited to feel this. Shul, he asks, there are times when I feel a lack of that life and a lack of that light. And it's very hard to grab on to that dvekas. And therefore, what do you do at those times? What do you do at those times when you're not feeling close? How do you merit to connect with Hashem when you're not feeling that closeness? How are we going to get that tainik? How can we feel this tainik at all times? Remember, I told you one story of a Jew. I don't remember who he was, but he's one of the Chassidus Rebbes. And he's coming back from the funeral of his son. He buried his son. He's coming back from the funeral, and he's like, he's kind of smiling a little bit. So the Chassidim are wondering, maybe the Rebbe's gone out of his mind, because it's a terrible thing to lose a child. No one should ever know that. Maybe the Rebbe's gone out of his mind. So they go over to the Rebbe and says, Rebbe, is everything okay? So the Rebbe said, yes. You know what it feels like? Sometimes when you have a friend and you haven't seen the friend in a long time, and sometimes he comes up from behind you, and because he's your friend, he gives you a good slap on the back, and you turn around, like you're going to say, what did you do that for? But you turn around, oh, it's your friend. You haven't seen since a long time ago. So you're happy to see him. So I feel like I got a slap on the back from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, he understands this comes from Hashem. So it comes from Hashem, and it's really hard, but if it comes from Hashem, and it only can be good. So even under those situations, they don't lose it, so to speak. And that's so important, to always feel that pleasure. Now, of course, you're going through a terrible time, and of course, it's a time of sadness, but there's still a great pleasure knowing you're not alone. And it's your best friend who's orchestrating this only in a way that can only be good for you. So then you're not devastated by it, and you could take it with equanimity, and you can live a life of pleasure, knowing that everything is going in the right way. Okay, so how can we feel that way? Ubanosav, in addition, don't people have a lot of physical needs? And vahatanaga gashmi, and that physical pleasure, mapil es haruchnius, doesn't it throw down the ruchnius? When you're indulging in the physical world, isn't that sort of taking away the spirituality? And many people who are growing, margishim shaliyasam netzeres. Some people, when they're growing, but they feel that their growing stops, it goes on hold, because of the pleasures that you need to have. You need to be involved in the physical world. And so many things in that physical world, they think are slowing them down spiritually. And other seductions of the Yetzer Hara. And their question in their hearts are, what do we do? How do we sanctify ourselves? In other words, there's a lot of physical things that you need to do. And that's the problem. The physical needs, the physical pleasures, we have to focus a lot on them sometimes to survive. So how can I be growing spiritually when I'm dealing with so many other mundane things? How can we grow spiritually learning the Sefer when you look at all the technology that's all around me here? If only people could be here, the ones that are here, you see what I got over here. A big screen, a mic, this, and this is an easy day, right? And the television screen, and this, all the gashmias, all around. And the time I have to spend when things don't go right. How could that be spiritual? And that's the purpose of this Sefer. Liftoach ma'at, to open up a little bit, barachma v'yisbarach, with Hashem's mercy, es hashar l'derech liskos lichos chayemes, to find the gateway to the path to merit to live a true life, b'tanug emes, with true pleasure. Liskos lahak v'yuchad Hashem esbarach, to merit to recognize the unity of Hashem, v'lichios es mitziuso, and to live in His reality. Ulahargisho, and to feel Him, ulischabrim, and to bond with Him, bechol zman u'matz, of each and every moment of our lives. Ulatzliach lamod mul bilbulei hayetzer, and to succeed to stand against and opposite the confusions of the Yetzer Hara. Ki haneshama tzmei rak l'Hashem yisbarach, because the soul thirsts only for Hashem. Liskos, to merit, as the pasuk says, lahaskel v'yedosi, be smart and know me, says Hashem. And the whole desire of Hashem, or my soul, is just to connect with Him, and to bond with Him. That's the whole person. And that's the goal of the Sefer. So Mirz Hashem, let's daven hard that we're able to continue this. If we're not going to do this, I have the last night a piece from one of the Rebbes that I didn't get to, so we'll for sure be learning. The only question is going to be continuing this Sefer or not. Okay, have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Sefer is awesome. Continue this Sefer.
Okay, I got to get a copy. I got to have it.
You want to have a
much I
copy?